Well, good morning, everyone. I guess we all know why we're here. But certainly that doesn't diminish the excitement and the gravity of the day. And to begin our program, it's my pleasure to introduce to you all our Vice President and Director of Athletics, Neil Sullivan.
Well, thanks everybody for coming. Relatively short notice, but that's how these coaching things work. As Tamika knows, how quick these things happen. So it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to welcome you and your family and Richard. And you know, they left the little ones at home, but we're excited to get them running around the arena and shooting hoops. They have two sons, RJ and JoJo. And her family, a lot of her family is here too, because they're no strangers to the city of Dayton. In fact, as my phone has indicated over the last 24 hours, I think they know everybody in the city of Dayton, which is wonderful. I'll turn it over to her, but first I just want to offer a couple brief thank yous that I think are appropriate. First, I just want to acknowledge President Eric Spina. He's one of the biggest women's basketball advocates there is. He sits courtside at every game. It was a joke. He's like, "Can you wait till Wednesday?" Yeah, he's out of town on a university commitment, but he would be here. He's here in spirit, and he was part of the search the entire way through. Visited with Tamika along with myself and our staff. So I just want to represent Eric, and Andy Horner's here on behalf of the university leadership, Executive Vice President of Finance Administrative Services. So thanks. We can't do this without the whole support of the entire university. I also want to thank my team, our team, that helped us throughout this process. We are a dynamic team, have a lot of diversity to our school of thought, which I think leads us in good direction. So Adam Shore, Angie Petrovic, Robbie Poteet, Trisha Greer, were kind of in the war room with me for the last week. As Angie says, she'd like to break up with me at this point, but that's okay. So I appreciate their counsel, their friendship, and their professionalism. Just one unique thank you I do want to offer. I didn't know he was going to be here today, but I do want to thank Wittenberg Athletic Director Brian Agler. He took a call from me. I'm still a little old school in that I like to reach out to the athletic directors or coaches of people that I have interest in. And it doesn't happen much anymore. The world just moves too fast. But I called him before I called Tamika, and he was super graceful. Here's a gentleman that made an amazing hire a year ago, and now I'm calling to do that. But the way he handled that and the care that he has for Tamika really came through. So, Brian, I'm glad you're here, and I appreciate your professionalism and how you did that. So on to the reason that we're here with Tamika. When we start coaching searches, especially in basketball, but across the board, we really have two primary categories that we really focus on, and there's a lot of subheadings to these. But first is what we refer to as their personal fit with what I call our timeless and unchanging core values. They're just non-negotiable. That's where we start. Once we move past the non-negotiables in terms of how they represent the university and the things that we think that they can be part of, we often try to study, are they a coach, right? Do they understand whether it's the X's and O's, the recruiting, the style of play, all those types of things. And the one thing that's interesting about Tamika, and I think this may surprise some people based on the messages that I got, is they said, you must have known that you moved really quick. It must have been Tamika all along. And without any disrespect to her, that's just not true. We started off with a really open process, and we were open to all types of candidates, head coaches, assistant coaches, former coaches. We really didn't limit ourselves initially. We had done a lot of work, but we didn't limit ourselves. After multiple phone calls, an initial phone call, and a couple in-person meetings, I just want to be really clear that Tamika earned this job by who she is, the way she represented herself, the way she interviewed, the way people talked about her basketball acumen. It was the total package. And I say that it's good, and it's it puts the wind at our sails for her to be from Dayton, Ohio, and to play at CJ. But she and I discussed that, and that's not the reason you can hire a coach. And she knows that, and we both embrace that together. So I'm very proud of that, and I'm really happy for her and her family. But just to make no mistake that I went into this process being intrigued. She had long been on a list of ours that she had on there, but I didn't know her personally or really professionally. And after multiple meetings and a couple visits, it just became apparent that we thought that this was absolutely the right decision. So as much as we value her career in Dayton at CJ, and all the connections that she has, which is wonderful, she earned this job. And we're really excited to have her. Finally, when I realized on the basketball side of things, remember, there's no way this job wasn't open, until a week ago today. And we were talking about basketball, and she started talking about some actions that our team was running. She started talking about some zone that we're playing, and I said, okay, she's been paying attention to Dayton basketball more than I anticipated, right? So she was watching. So it's an absolute honor and a pleasure to turn the podium over to Tamika and welcome you and your family to the University of Dayton, and we couldn't be more excited.
I can't even read the notes I made because, guys, I only cry when I have children, I feel like. And as Perk will tell you and Brian Nagler, I've cried a lot this week. This is like super home, right? These are the people who made me. This is homemade. It's the perfect recipe. And to have Neil call President Spina to believe in me, Angie to forever be my homie since I was a little snotty-nosed freshman, and to believe in me. In this position as a coach, you're a teacher. Coach Foster always said that, and I'm a child of 2 educators, okay? And every day as a coach, you have to look at young minds and mold them. And my job is to pull what they don't see out of them every day. This is an everyday thing, okay? And this moment, when Neil called, he might not know this. And a year ago, when Brian Nagler put me in a situation at Wittenberg to be a head coach, were moments that I didn't see what they saw in me. And it's gonna make me emotional. I was like, babe, I can't cry. Because so many times you take these jobs and it's about the student athlete. It's about the kid. They're just snotty-nosed little kids when you get them. And they do these amazing things on the court, and I can go over all the players I've been around and coached and take credit for, right? But on the other end, that's a feel-good moment when you know they came in and they didn't think that they could accomplish what they could accomplish on the other end. And to have so many people pour into me from this city, right, that I thought was the biggest city in the world until I went to college. And then for it to come full circle, that Brian calls me and talks me into taking a job at Wittenberg. And then Neil calls me and says, hey, we want you to come to Dayton. And I think they're both crazy. I think, what do they see in me? And I have done this for almost 20 years, doing that to other people, right? It couldn't be more of a full circle moment for me. Being from a city like Dayton, working here at a university that just excels so much in the classroom, produces great people that are all my friends, right? They go from Chaminade to University of Dayton. They go to Dayton Public School to Dayton. They go to Dayton. I was the weirdo that left and went 14 hours away, right? And to do what they do on the basketball court year in, year out. The coaches are a big part of it. The student athletes are a big part of it, but the support is even bigger. Believe me, when you have people who believe in you, you will push through a wall. You'll take charges, right? You'll block shots, and you'll believe. And I know University of Dayton is that kind of place because it's produced a lot of people that I love, and it brought me back. And they care about women's basketball. They care about basketball in general. They care about all their student athletes. So I just want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank the support, the community. I know when I talked to President Spina, he said all he talked about when I talked to him was about bridging the gap and the community coming together and the city of Dayton. And I mean, he was speaking my language, and he's not from here. He's from New York. So that right there spoke volumes to me. I'm a people person first. People make the place. This is my first time walking in the Danaher Center, walking in UD Arena in probably like 15 years. If you would have told me to go find the offices I would have looked for when I was a little kid, you know, with two little ponytails going to camp at the Clement Haskins camps, okay? This is way back when, right? That place is amazing. This place, I mean, they have really outdone themselves. This is beautiful. So to all the donors, thank you. This is just like, this is out of this world. This is a place like you have to come see it to believe it, right? So I'm excited. I'm thankful. My mom couldn't be here. My mom has dementia, so she had a little episode. But what is dear to me is she can come to every practice now. And she can come to every game, and you know, she'll get to see me grow. And if my dad was still alive, I mean, he would hug Neil like 25 times and Brian 25 times. Like, that guy would be on cloud 9. So I know he's looking down and is just so happy. And thank the Lord for putting me in this position. You know, I pray every day, and this is just a place I never saw myself in. But thank God somebody saw it in me. Now it's time to go out. I'm competitive. You guys know that, I don't have to tell you. I'm ready to recruit. We're already on that, you know. And this is just an opportunity for University of Dayton women's basketball to restock, reload, and fly. That's where we're going with this. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's the end of our program here at the podium, but truly, it's just the beginning. Thank you all for coming. For those of you watching on the stream, thanks for tuning in, and go Flyers.